Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Well, there we go. Because I was thinking, practicing earlier, I'm like, make sure it says Monday because it's Monday today. So, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another hour of learning here with Michael Stores and Faber-Castell USA. My name is Leigh Bella Ross, and I'm also known as Mommy Leigh on the internet. It's so nice to have you. Thank you for finding our class today. I didn't know if you guys were going to get confused. I was confused. I was so glad. I looked at my schedule. I thought for sure we're going to have Wednesday, but I was checking my schedule. That's why it's always important to plan. So I was looking at my plan. I'm like, okay, I have a class on Wednesday. Oh, no, not Wednesday. It's Monday. So hello and thank you for being here. Again, like what Nicole said, this class is being recorded. So it should be available tomorrow over at Michael's YouTube channel. And if you are new to our classes, there's a ton. There's a lot, of classes that we have created over the last couple of years. So from lettering to illustration to doing some mixed media using your favorite Faber-Castell supplies. Okay, so today is going to be another fun, spooky Halloween, but not so spooky. I always say that. I always get confused. It's a not so spooky, very kawaii type of Halloween. So I would like to say hello to all of our friends. Hey, Angie, some good friends from New Jersey. Hey, Belle. Hi, Mary. Yes, I know our date changed, but you made it. Thank you so much. Hey, Isabella. Hey, Tina. Hey, Gory. Hello there. Barbara. Hi there. Hi, Cecilia. Hey, Cecilia. Hello. Hey, Jared. Hey, Robin. Hey, Stephanie. Hi, Cher. I want to know what is the weather where you guys are from. It is actually a very pleasant day today in Texas. It's not cool, definitely not fall, but definitely much better than the last couple of days. So, hello there, Robin, from the mountains of Colorado. Gorgeous, beautiful. Hello, Tina. Yes, Monday is a surprise, that's for sure. Hey, Christine. Hey, Rachel. Hello there. So today is going to be fun because I'm going to teach you the way I create my characters when it comes to my kawaii characters. So we're going to draw a pumpkin, a girl that is wearing a pumpkin costume. So it's really going to be fun. Now, I say this all the time. Cher said that it's a fall weather today. Oh man, I am jealous. Gory from San Diego. Hello, everybody. Hey, Robin, a beautiful weather in the 60s. Oh, no. Christine said it's cold here in New York. Oh, man. Yeah, I am looking forward to that cooler weather for sure, but I'm just enjoying day by day. There's always something beautiful about every day. Like today, you guys are here with me, and we're going to play with some of my favorite Faber-Castell PITT artist pens. Now, I know this is kind of like a long shot. I have been sharing my art and I have been teaching for, I'm going to say the last decade and so, just don't want to reveal the true age there, but I've been doing this for a very long time. And I use a lot of different mediums and a lot of different brands. But, people ask me, what is your favorite marker? It's really hard to say, to just choose one. But if I can only choose one marker for the rest of my creative days, it would be the PITT Artist pens. Now, the PITT Artist pens are water-based India ink. And please do correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only water-based India ink that I know, except for, the ones in the bottle. But in a marker form, the PITT Artist pen is the only water-based India ink. A lot of the markers that is available in the market, you'll have alcohol inks. Now you also have like water-based dye inks like that. They're also amazing. But one thing that I really love about the PITT Artist Pen is that they do not bleed through. So I do a lot of things. We do a lot of journaling, we do a lot of planning, and these markers are just simply amazing. I use it for lettering, I use it for drawing, I use it for planning, I use it for that. There's so many things. I know it's a little pricey, but I think it's truly worth it. It's one of those things that you really get what you paid for. Okay, so when it comes to kawaii characters, this is something that I am really passionate about because, every artist, we all have our own style, or, when it comes to music, the genre, right? The genre of music. Some people like mixed media where they do a lot of paints or do a lot of collaging. Now, there's a lot of people that loves impressionistic art, some abstract, some realism, those really up to the pores and details. Now, those are amazing. I don't think I can ever, 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 I should never say never, but um, I don't think I can. But I love the cute things. I love the cute characters that I create. One example is this bunny that I have drawn and I've turned into a stationery. So my goal here when I'm teaching you classes like this, whether when it comes to journaling or drawing, my goal is for you to maybe use this to really bring joy in your everyday lives, or maybe turn it into a small business like myself, or maybe just use it to bring someone joy, by sharing your art to them. Okay. All right. So are we ready? We need an eraser. Yes, this is an eraser, Cecilia. This is a kneaded eraser from Faber-Castell. I really love this one because it's not messy. I don't get a lot of the eraser suds because I do erase a lot. And that is one thing you probably know about me by now, is that I love sketching. So when it comes to kawaii characters, everything about kawaii is chubby. They have round items. So I'm going to just show some examples so that we can see it. So you guys can just, get really the idea of what I'm talking about. I want to have like a big one. So when we draw like carrot, because I have the bunny in here, so you draw a carrot and you think about, triangle, right? Like that really narrow triangle. And then you draw the leaves like this. And then you draw lines. This is how I would doodle my carrots, just like this. Now, when I'm drawing something kawaii, because every time I see something pointy like this, or like pointy like that, leaves, it doesn't tell me cute. Now, you can always put a smiley face, like the kawaii face, and of course, it'll turn it cute. But when it comes to kawaii stuff, everything is more on the round side, more like the chubby side. So I often use like slightly curving lines instead of like one straight line. So instead of like a horizontal line like this, I would slightly curve it just a little bit. And then I would bring this down and I would round these corners instead of like sharp. So let me see if I zoom in. See, I'm going to show you the difference a little bit. And then I would bring it down. And even the bottom of my carrot, I'm going to round it up just a slight bit, just like that. So I don't have anything pointy. And then I would make my leaves on top. Instead of sharp, I would make it more like round, like a scallop thing. And then you do a little bit of kind of like broken lines or dashed lines to add more visual interest to your drawing instead of just like one straight horizontal line like this. Just kind of like give it like artistic things, and then you put some kawaii eyes in there. And then you put a smile, then you have a more kawaii carrot like that. So when I talk about round, that just gives you an idea of what we're talking about, right? The bunny that I showed is just a little clip. I like using it when I'm drawing just to keep my paper like like that. So it doesn't keep try, especially when I'm using a lot of watercolor. Sometimes my papers are warped, so it just to clip it together and it just holds it in place. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so now let's start with our character. Now that I gave you a little bit of an idea what is a kawaii drawing is all about, I'm going to share with you how I start my character drawing. Right now, the colors that I'm going to use, I say this all the time, you don't have to use exact colors and even from the same brand, but I love sharing with you my favorite ones because, it's always fun. Now, when you think about pumpkin, you can always, make it like yellow or green. Now it's up to you. But, when you think about Halloween, we think about the orange pumpkin. So we want to start with, if you want to do a lot of blending, I always start with a light color, with a medium color, and a darker color, right? So you can find me with This is a dark chrome yellow. I have a terracotta or a sanguine like this. So I have a light, a medium, and then a dark. And sometimes if I really want to create like a deeper contrast, I would even bring in like a fourth color, a much deeper orange, warm brown, and then a darker brown too. So kind of like this. So you'll see me with like 3 to 5 colors. Now that's a bit to excess maybe, but I'm just sharing with you how I like to do things. Now with the green, I only have two. I have the earth green and the chromium green opaque. Now, if you just have the chromium green opaque, perfect. That's all you need. You don't have to use a lot of these. Now you need to just have one skin color. You know, if you, I have an apricot color in here, but I kind of like to add a little bit of contrast, a little bit of blending. Then I will use the beige red. And if I want to add a bit more, then I'll have the raw umber. So it's kind of like light, medium, and dark. And that's why sometimes it's really nice to have variety of colors. But the beautiful thing about the PITT Artist Pen is that the way they work is almost like a watercolor. They're very buildable. You know, all you need is one color. I'm going to try it here just so you can see. I'm going to have one layer in here, just one layer. Okay. And then I'm going to add two in this one so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can deepen the color, you can change the value and make it slightly darker by just adding another layer to it. And that is the beauty of this marker. Now, I also have some pinks and purples in here just in case I change my mind. Maybe we want to color her hair purple instead of just like plain brown, right? So just play around, grab your markers and all that. Now, when it comes to markers, you really need a good marker paper because paper is so, so important. If you're going to use like really great quality markers like this, then you want to make sure that you also use a really good quality marker pad so that your markers will work the way they're supposed to. So a marker pad will have time. So the inks, the pigments will have enough time to stay on top of your paper so that you can have enough time for blending. And that's why it's really important. If you're going to use a copy paper, I promise you, it's not going to look the same and you're not going to be happy with the result. So a marker paper is really nice to have, right? A vellum or a Bristol, you know, if you want a little bit of rough, if you want some smooth texture, read about it and see which one is the smoothest. Or like with me, I try both of them and see which one I want. Okay, let us do this. I always start with the basic shapes when it comes to my characters. So I'm going to draw a simple circle shape for the head. Now be careful because when we start with the head, this is basically almost the size, right? So you want to make sure that you have enough space if you want to create a background or something or want to have a lettering, then just make sure that you plan that out a little bit. So it's really not a circle, it's more of an oval shape. So just an oval and sketch lightly, just like that. And then when it comes to kawaii, the body is actually much smaller than the head. I know it's kind of weird, but it is. So I always use this shape like this. This is the first half. This is the body. We're going to try like that. So we can place it. Now I'm going to start with my legs. This is the bottom one. And just kind of like sketch it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just going to put two legs in there. So you can plan your position, how you want your character to look like. Now I want to have it where the arms is almost like this, kind of like, you know, one is like this and the other one is holding a paper bag on the side. So to do that, I'm going to draw one arm first on the side like this, just kind of like an oblong or like a really, really narrow oval one. And then I'm going to draw two, the second one, and this is where the other hand is going to be. It's really clear. It's just that it's a light sketch. So you might have a little bit of hard time to see that, but I'm going to go turn down that brightness. Maybe it will help to give a bit of a contrast. So as you can see, we just have that. I don't know if it's better or not when it's like so dark. Is it better? Okay. And then I'll have another arm on the side, just like this, just so I can see the position. Like that, you're most welcome. I know, I don't even know why it's like super like that. I'm going to turn off now the autofocus. So maybe this one, it's already in this area. Maybe it will not focus anymore. It's still focusing. So we're going to turn off that autofocus. Look, it's already turned on. Stop moving. Here we go. And then we'll put the feet on the side, just like this. And really, when we're sketching, it's almost like really just getting the idea of the structure of your character. So I always start with this one. And when I have, the placement of and the size proportion, I feel like they're already proportioned. Then I use my kneaded eraser, right? So I'm going to use my kneaded eraser over here and just go on top of my initial sketch. Now, this is really going to be very difficult to see now because it's going to be even lighter. But we're going to have to so you guys can see. Okay. Hi, why do you autofocus? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it to a manual focus. Can we do that? Should be okay now. There. Okay, so now that we have our eyes, I'm going to turn up the brightness just a little bit because we're not going to see anything anymore. It's really dark. Okay, so now that I have that, we're going to divide the circle because this is her head, right? So I want my girl to be looking a little bit to my right. So we're going to have a vertical line, and it's a little bit to the side because I want her face a little bit to that side, not so in the middle. Let me see this one if I can. This one will help me. There. So you can see that. So it's on the side. And then we're going to divide it into 4. We're going to start another line, but this time it's horizontal. So I'm going to put this one in slightly at the bottom. I know you find it weird because I'm like, why is it not in the middle? But it shouldn't be in the middle. Like that. I don't know what is happening with my camera, guys. It's like it shouldn't be doing this right now because I already turned off the autofocus. Okay. So now we're going to go just lighten that a little bit. I'm going to add it a bit more so you can see it. You don't get confused. Okay. So now I'm going to start with the structure of the face because the face is going to be not just a circle. We don't want a circle face. We want it to be a little like almost like 2D. So from here on the top, that is my head. I'm going to cut this one, divide it again, the top. So now we have 3. 1, 2, 3, the middle part. So this one is going to be my forehead or the head of my character. This is where the eyes are going to be. This is going to be where the mouth is, right? So I'm just going to add a mouth just so you can see eyes. And then I'm going to fix that later on, just so you can have a visual of how that's going to be. Now I'm going to create the structure of my face, and how I want the face to look like is it has to be chubby because it is kawaii, So if you guys excuse me a little bit, because this is really also bothering me what it's doing that in the first place. Da, 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 da. While you guys are still sketching, we're going to fix this one. So we can have Okay. This should be okay now. All right, here we go. So the way I would do it from the forehead, I would start sketching down, and then here is my eyes. I'm going to create a little bit of hump over here, or just a curving line for my chubby cheeks, just like that. And I would go bring it down. This would be my chin on this side. And then I go on the other side. I'm going to go back. Okay. And then do the same thing. So from my forehead, or the first line, I'll bring this down and then just slightly curve it, just slight, and bring it over here. And apologize if I'm going to move a little fast so that we can finish this class, all right? So knowing that this is my body, in Kawaii, I don't really like to add any neck to it because it makes it even cuter without a neck. I know sometimes it sounds so weird when I'm sharing, but all I would do is I would add a little bit of like a letter U underneath, and that shows that there's a neckline. So, and that's okay. So here I'm going to add the body. Again, if you guys, visit Michael's YouTube tomorrow, just so you can kind of like rewind part of the things that might be a little too fast for you. So I'm going to do the body. Basically, I'm just following the same sketch that I've created earlier on this side. And then I'll just bring this down. Again, we're still in the adjustment, right? We're still making adjustments. So we're still on that sketch. And then I'm going to do my arms just like this. And just bring that down. I want her pumpkin costume to be almost like a onesie. This one, this right leg, so basically it's her right leg on this, would be the one in front, and her left leg would be in the back. So the right would be in the foreground, and that left one would be in the background. It's just like that. And I don't really like the way that this is like curving. So again, like what I said, we're in this like building. We're really building the character right now. But when we have like the basic shapes, it's easy to kind of like follow along. That's why those basic sketching is so important, because it sets the size of the head, the size of the body. You have that initial sketch to really guide you. So those little oblong shapes for the arms. Here, one is the shoulder. So when you do your shoulder, don't forget to kind of like slightly curve it, okay? Because you want to see that this one is like the shoulder part of that. So you curve it just a little bit. Don't just make it like straight. There's nothing straight really. So everything is like slightly curved. When you sketch, make things slightly curving. Okay, I'm still not happy with this one. I feel like it's too big, my leg. So I'm just going to adjust it. I did inset that a little bit. Take this out. And just like that. I feel like it gives me, remember I told you I do erase a lot because of this reason. So, and then I'll just do a simple shape like that for my arm. I mean, for my hand, just like this. And then here, I'm going to make my hand. And I'm going to do the paper bag. It's like almost Just part of the paper bag is what's peeking through because the rest is like hidden. Okay, so now I'm looking at my drawing and I'm like trying to figure out what can I do better, what I don't like about it. So this part of the character building is like, okay, maybe the head is too big, maybe the body is too big. Maybe I want it even smaller to make it look more kawaii. Maybe I need to make it shorter. That's like a chibi style. If you make it a bit longer, that's how you're going to know if your character is young or old. If you have it where it's short, then you know that this character is young. If you have it a little bit leaner and longer, then you're showing and telling the viewers that your character is, maybe a teenager, maybe, a young lady and all that. So those little things, details are so important. Okay, so I think I'm like really not happy with my body. I'm going to add a little bit of like curve in there just so that you can see my bottom side view. So I'm just going to curve this one also. And I think I'm going to make my arms a bit smaller too, just so I can make it a bit more cuter. Just like that. I think I'm good. And here, the leg is messing me up. So I'm going to do that again so that I can really show that this one is in the background, and I'll just show a little bit of that where that's hiding behind it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. I think not seeing the face that's not so cute is not giving me anything. It's almost like throwing me off because the face is so not cute. The eyes is almost like creeping me out. It's kind of scary. Okay, so again, I want her thing to be a onesie. So we're going to add here on our first line, we're going to add a slightly curved like this, right? So we're going to follow this one and close it, almost like following the shape of the body. So what we're doing right now is we're going to add the head pumpkin, the costume for her head, just like that. So a bit of her face is showing. Again, a basic, right? Because this is a pumpkin. So we're going to go do this to make it look like a pumpkin, following just the shape we did earlier, just like that. And we add a little bit of stock, just like this, like that. And then I'm going to add a cute face, just so it doesn't throw me off. You can add some eyebrows. It adds expression to it. I'm going to be honest with you. My eyebrows can sometimes make or break my drawings. So I try to make it just kind of like very squarish, so little. It's almost like insignificant, but it's there. And then I try to make the mouth just slightly bigger than, everything else. So that's really the focus where she's really happy. All right. It's almost like we're getting somewhere here. I like that one. Now, how can I make this even cuter? Now, that's always my question is like, okay, it looks cute, but how can we take it to the next level, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten the head, this and the forehead part, and we're going to turn it into a almost like little scalloped. So I think this will make it cuter. But having that line, that curved line over there gives me an idea already where it's going to be. I have my guide just like that. So now that's much, much cuter, just adding those scalloped on there. There we go. Then bring that down just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to also make my nose instead of kind of like a little tiny hump. Let's see what's going to happen if I make it into an oval. So this is what I do when I'm creating my characters. I just change everything and see what feels right, because this is your character. No one can tell you what's right and what's wrong. It is yours. One thing I'm going to tell you, one thing that I think is bothering me a lot is that I want her body to be even more smaller. So I'm going to erase this one and I'm going to make this one smaller. I'm going to go from here, just like this. It's already so cute. Wait till we color her in, just like this. And then, okay. And then our arm, just like that. There we go. So this one is in the background, just like that. And then I'm going to adjust my sides just a slight bit because we adjusted the top. So when you adjust the top, don't forget your sides, okay? There we go. I am getting there. I am liking what I see. All right. Because this one is like, this side was just so, it's a little too big for me. Now I like it. All right. Okay. And then we're going to add the lines of our pumpkin. Remember, it's our head is like tilted slight bit. So make sure that the lines will show the direction of that pumpkin, right? So just do it in broken lines. Follow that curve a little bit. And this line, I'm going to bring this down too. Almost like you're just following the lines on top. And I want to add a bit here also just to add more, just like this. And then we're going to do the same for the arm. So follow the direction of the body because this is one body suit. Yeah, you can make it into a pumpkin witch. I think that's going to look so cute. I have never seen one ever. See, this is where you're using your creativity and you're really creating your own characters. I'm going to make this one really small. I'm going to follow this, the direction of my legs. Okay, that's good. Now I want to add some hair. And I think in the sample pictures, I made it where her hair was braided. You can do that exactly how I have it in the picture. And the way I did it was just kind of like added some basic curving lines, just like this. See, kawaii is so simple. It's just finding your own style that sometimes is difficult. But the more you play with it, the more you're like, oh, I want it where my body is a little too small. Or maybe you are different than me and you're like, no, you know what? I want the body big and the head small. You can go against what I'm teaching you right now. So you can make it like that, where her hair is like really long but braided, just like this. You can color it whatever color you want, create your own. You can make it also long. I'm going to sorry, erase it. I'm so used to digital. I said delete. Okay. You can make it where like part of her hair is like peeking out and it's almost like long and just like this. Make sure you add a bit here too. And just adding lines like this, what it does is that it gives your audience, a sense of direction where the hair is really flowing like this. So I'd like to know, which one did you like better? You like the braided, you like the long, or you want to make it where there's no hair, where everything is like inside her pumpkin costume. You can do that too. You can just like this, where everything is like tucked inside. I think that's so cute too. Maybe you can add like leaves, vines, from the top. That would be so cute for like part like this, just like that. And then just add some vines. That's cute. I think I'm going to keep it like this. We have green anyways, markers. And then just add a few leaves in there. Oh, definitely we're going to add some blush to this one later on. Okay, so we're ready. I don't think I'm going to add some hair this time. We'll see. We'll see. But to me, this is it. After we made the sketch, I'm happy with the shape. I'm happy with, the position of my character. I love it's symmetrical to me. Then now all what we can do is we can go ahead and do our line art. But most of the time, what I do is I just lighten the sketch as much as I can, and then I go ahead with my colors. Now, again, what I was talking to you earlier about the markers is that if you're not using the right paper, you might get some trouble with your blending. But if you're using a marker pad, I don't think you're going to have any issues with that. All right, so now I am lightening my sketch. Light, 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 light. I'm going to add my line art later on after our coloring so that I won't have any issues with bleed through of the black, because we have to wait forever for that black to dry. Okay, I'm going to start with my skin. I'm going to use my apricot color. I'm going to start with the base. Now be careful when you do your coloring, because what's going to happen is that it's going to leave a streak, okay? So you want to make sure that you're really going cover and all that. So you don't go on top of the one that you've already colored in. So you kind of like go, and then the other side, and then the other side, just like that. So don't go over that area twice. And if you do, it's okay. I mean, but all we're trying to do is try to avoid some overlapping of the colors for our first base. We have our first base. Now I'm going to add a little skin over here because that's her neckline. So part of her neck or her skin is showing. And I'm going to do here as well for my hand and this hand right here. Okay, I'm going to go zoom out just a little bit. Okay. I know it's really hard to see, but I promise you it is in focus. It's just so light. All right, then I'm going to start adding my pumpkin, my color of my pumpkin costume. I'm going to start with a dark chrome yellow. And we're just going to color it in. Oops, sorry, why did it zoom in? Trying to lighten my color. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing here, where I'm going to try avoid kind of like overlapping. But if you do, it's okay. Sometimes it just depends on the marker pad you're using, because some paper will really show that streak, but some doesn't. So, I mean, they're not created equal. I'm going to try and just go one side, one side. But if you want to build texture, then, I mean, go for it. You can go like small, short strokes like this if you want. But I feel like I can cover a larger area when I go long strokes like this one. I'm just trying to be as careful as I can and have it where my work area is free of any markers, because it might make my hand kind of like go wonky and go all over the place. So that's just first layer. We're not adding anything else. Let me go to this one, so it's not so zoomed in. Okay, zoom out just a little bit. Oops, not too much. That same color. It's like a dark chrome yellow, but I like a really light orange. I'm gonna go here too. Don't worry, because we're gonna create some contrast. I know you're thinking, now it's all just one orange blob. No, it's not. We're gonna bring back some of the details in there later on. We're just doing our first base. So just relax. I'm showing you what it looks like if you do like short strokes like this. kind of like a wiper. See, some of it are like overlapping over there. But we can cover it up later on anyways with some darker colors. So if you do that, don't worry about it. We're just going to embrace some of that texture. It's like for some reason when I'm drawing kawaii, you know how I love those textures? But when I'm drawing like kawaii, I just feel so different when it comes to that. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to use the earth green, kind of like a lighter green color in here. Just going to go do this. So maybe you want like 2 different greens just so you can have your leaves a different color. Whoa, this is not like the green I was expecting, but you know what? It's okay. Maybe if you have like a lighter green, it would look better. So I'm going to do the vine. And I'm using the brush tip of the marker to create like thin and thick by just adjusting the pressure of how I'm using it. Let me grab a different green, which is the Chromium Green Opaque. And then I'm just going to go over that vine. See. Yeah, I like this one better. It's okay if the stalk just looks a little bit different. And then I'm just going to add my leaves. Like this. This would be so cute if you like making a boo box or like those boo baskets. You can scan your drawing and then print it many times. So you have like a little tag with your own drawing. I think it's going to look so cute. Or a card. There's so many things you can do with your drawings now. Oh my gosh, if you have, the Cricut machines, there's even like sublimation blanks. Make sure to check out, Michael's classes because there's so many crafty projects that you're going to learn from. But the problem with that is like, I need all of the tools. I need all of the machines available. Like every beads for Halloween, making jewelry, baking. It's like there's so many things. Okay, so I'm going to leave it just like that for the first layer for our green. Okay, for my shoes, I think I am going to use like just some plain brown. So the dark sepia color is what I'm going to use here. Dark sepia. Basically, I want to color this just like this so you can see it when it's like colored. And then we can take things into the next level by just adding some bits of blending so you can see like, oh wow, you know, we turned it into like a cute drawing into a bit of a masterpiece just by adding some contrast and bringing back some details. And this is where the stage where you can really play around and see, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can do mixed media. Maybe I can, use my pencils in here to add some details. That's going to be so cool. Okay, so we use the apricot for the skin. Now I'm choosing my medium color. If you don't have this one, the beige red, you can go ahead and use the apricot color again. Again, remember I told you this is where the PITT artist is so amazing is that it's like a watercolor. You can work in layers. You can change the value of your color by just adding another layer to it. So you really don't need a whole lot of colors because it's amazing like this. But if you have a darker shade, then go ahead. I'm going to show you both because that's what we do in here. We like experimenting and really being brave. And I'm going to go add some contrast in here again, also by the chin, by the cheek area as well, because it's giving a little bit of that shadow from my costume. And I'm going to darken this part of the neck as well. So we can add shadow in there and the bottom part of my hand too, just like this, and on this side as well. So you guys can see. All right, I'm going to go ahead with my apricot color and just kind of like blend the edges so I don't have a whole lot of like sharp lines in there. You know what? I was using my just journal pages in here because I was trying to do the sketches first. I did not use my marker pad, so I can really see parts of the paper. The texture is already kind of like peeling, and this is what I was talking about. If you're not using a marker pad, because this one is like slightly textured, no fun. Okay, here we go. I am going to add parts of my pumpkin. So which one did we use earlier? So we use a dark chrome yellow. I'm going to go and grab my medium and my darkest, which is the sanguine. And then this one is the terracotta. So the medium first. So naturally, this part right here, where the chin, the body, the neck, the shoulders, it will have some contrast. I'm just adding it there. That's the medium shade. I'm getting the lightest color again. And I'm just going to move those pigments down. See? So just kind of like almost like blurring it out, that lines that I've just created. So I don't want any sharp lines, just like bringing it down. So again, this is the medium color, the sanguine color, just adding just a touch, go back to my lightest, and then use that. And then again, bring everything down just to blur the blending. So it's just giving that a bit of a contrast. Now we're going to add some contrast here from the leg, because remember I told you this one is kind of like behind my right. So we're going to create that look. So this one, and then I'm going to use again my lightest color just to blur it, just like this. So when you add some blending to your drawing, it really does change the whole thing. It's like super amazing. It looks blurry right now because we don't have details. So all you're seeing is just really colors. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna autofocus. There you go. And then I think I'm happy with that, but I want to add some middle color in here, the separation from our body to the arm on the other side. And then I'm going to go do that again and blur it out. And from here as well, kind of like where my arm is, like that. I'm going to add there. So just adding details over here as well at the bottom, just so we can see the separation of our arm from our body. Gives that illusion that, hey, this one is on top. Just like that. And now I'm just coloring everything in here. Going over it. And look at this. I am actually changing the value already of the color. It's adding a little bit more contrast, a bit more depth to that, like a dark. So this one is super dark compared to the ones that we have on top. So we want to add a bit here too. So we can have some blending in here as well, just like that. And then there also. And then I'm going to use the lightest again to blend it. Just like that. And then from the stalk or the top of that costume, just adding a little bit. And then we'll blend it again. Well, this Pitt Artist Pen is just beautiful. Okay, then this time I'm going to use the darkest to create our lines or the texture of our costume. And I'm going to follow the position of her head. Again, I'm using the brush and I'm using the very, very tip, and I'm adding a really, really light pressure to my brush. I'm using very light just so I can really concentrate on using just the tip of the marker. I'm going to go bring it down. This one, I'm going to slightly curve this line, just like this, where it's like it's coming from the top, and then curve it just slightly, following the shape of your headpiece. And this one as well, I'm going to bring this, curve it down, just following that. Straight this one the other direction, just like this. I'm going to add one more line in here, just a small one. It already changed it so much. All right, and then I'm going to line this part here because we've already lost our neck. And then I'm going to add some line in there. So you can use, like what I said, you can use a pencil to add some details back to your drawing, or you can actually use your black marker if you would like. Sometimes a black marker feels a bit too harsh to me, especially when, with, this type of art. Maybe like a brown, if you have like a brown marker, that would be great. I might do that. I might use a dark sepia for my face because the black might be a little too harsh. Now I'm going to do my lines. Remember, this arm is like forward, right? So you want to make sure that your lines like this, and this one is behind that arm. So if you feel like you're not getting thin enough lines, it means that you're not going light enough. I promise you that, because I had that trouble before, and I'm like, why can't I ever use, create thin lines? It's because I'm really just not going thin enough. I promise you, just kind of like really go light. And then you're going to get that very, very thin stroke. And also take your time. I notice that when I feel so rushed, that is when my lines are not, as thin as I would like them to be, just because I'm kind of like almost like really not being mindful and not paying enough attention to what I'm doing. I'm almost just like going with the flow. Then I think about why I'm not getting that result that I want. Okay, I like that. I like he. Now you can keep adding lines if you want, because I feel like we don't have enough lines here. But I think I'm going to use my middle color instead of the darkest, just to kind of like not so busy. Because sometimes having that dark color and adding so much lines and textures tend to look super busy. But if you want to go lighter, you add texture without adding too much of that busyness. Okay, now I am going to use again this brown, the dark sepia, to add my details. And this is where it's going to kind of like feel a little tricky with my eyebrows. I'm scared. I'm just going to do square. I'm not going to do any curve, just a bit like that, just like that. Don't want to curve it so much. Smaller here. I hope I don't ruin it. I'm going to do my eyes. Then this one is a bit smaller, because this right part of her is closer to the viewer. So I'm just going to add a bit more there. I'm questioning my nose, guys, if I want to make it like a oval or just a hump. I'm going to do the medium color, skin color, and see what it's going to look like with just like a little curved line. I think I like that better. I don't know. Maybe just like that. Okay. And I'm going to add some blush. I'm going to use the coral color. Then slightly smaller oval on the other side, just like that. I like it. It's so cute. I feel like I'm missing the hair. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm missing the hair. So I'm going to make it where her paper bag is purple. So I'm just going to do purple. Just a light purple on this side. Like that. Like this. I want to add some dots inside. Some textures in there. You can add the kawaii face in the paper bag also if you like, or maybe like stripes or like Halloween creatures. I'm gonna add just green just to show the ground. And so just like that. I feel like I'm missing hair. What do you guys think? It really does. I feel like it needs a bit more color to make it look. Hang with me. I really want. Let's do the braided style. Just gonna add small, and then you guys can finish up yours. Just like this. Okay. Then I'll eatable eraser. And I'm gonna color it pink because I'll start with the purple first with the light so we can have our base color. Just like this. Because I always wanted to do purple hair. Of course, my kids are like, you are not gonna add purple hair. But I'm an artist. I have the freedom to express myself. And just so you guys know, you don't have to be an artist to have the freedom to express yourself. You have the freedom to express yourself. I like that hair. And I'm going to add some pink to it. So, and what I'm doing is I'm adding it in short strokes just to kind of like have that look of hair strands, you know? So instead of coloring it in one block, I'm making it where it's like short strokes like this. And I'm leaving the middle part almost like just like this. So we can create like that natural highlights. And also to give the contrast that it has, just like that. And then this one, I'm going to go the opposite because this one is like going down. Just like this. So next time you can create your own coloring book. You know, you can create your little tiny girl, kawaii girl. I'm going to add some ribbon. Just like this. Like a little bow in there. It's so cute. Maybe parts of her hair is kind of like peeking through parts of the head. I don't know. Just like that. Because it's like peeking through from that headdress. But it's so cute. She is so cute. I want to add a little bit of like trick or treat in here, you know, or you could always just add like colors, the pink in there, add some stars to it, add your lettering at the bottom. You know, you can just play around, use this in your journal. My daughter always says pink is not Halloween. Stop using pink. It's not Halloween. It's like, it is Halloween to me. I love pink. But guys, this is it. Do we have any questions about everything that we've created today? I'm so proud of you because we've created this from sketch and we finished it. No, like what I said, you can't always kind of like use a line, a marker, a black marker to add more details to this, or use your pencils. Play around. Don't be scared to do that. I hope that it was not so fast. I really wanted it where we can. You can learn the basics because once you learn the basic, you can practice it. You can create your witch next time, or create a different costume for your little kawaii girl. As long as we've learned the basic from that sketch, you can do so much more. So I hope that this was fun. I hope that you've learned a lot today. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure. And I really do hope that you've enjoyed today's class. But I wish you have a lovely rest of your evening and be safe. And as always, of course, stay creative and stay happy. I will see you guys next week. We're going to have November 4 and November 6. So we have two classes in a week. It's going to be super exciting. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, Tina. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everyone.